Hey, phony homies. On today's episode, we discuss week four's big injuries, week five's waiver wire, ads, drops, studs, duds, and so much more. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guys Show. My name is Giancarlo Campos, and I am your host. And alongside me is the best co-host in the entire world, the biggest Bears fan that has no shame wearing all the gear,
Nah.
Dustin D.L. Lingerman.
What's up, my
DL?
guy? How are
Not
you,
much, man.
man?
I'm
Did you
good.
see
I'm
the
good. Pretty damn
intro?
good.
Did you see
Yeah, it
the
was pretty sick.
intro?
We're back, baby. We're back.
Yeah, dude, in my headphones, I was amped listening to it. It was awesome.
Honestly,
But anyway,
I had the timing down and everything. I already kind of knew like my cue. It was pretty cool. Just jumping right
yeah,
back into
see,
it.
we're getting there, guys. We are getting
Yeah.
there, phony homies. We are getting to where we should be.
Yeah, shout out to you for pulling it, making sure that it happened. And
Thank
as always,
you.
yeah,
Thank
here we
you. That's
are
nice.
again. DL, let's let the phony homies know. As a reminder, you can follow the show on Twitter. We're at DL.
Tweet FFG.
And if you have any questions, because we're going to have a great episode again today. If you have any questions, phony homies, or anyone watching out there in, I don't know, fake football land, you can also use the hashtag to send those questions by using the hashtag.
Ask us FFG.
You can also send us emails if that's more your speed. You can send us email questions by sending them to the email, DL.
Ask us FFG at gmail.com.
That's right. We do love our email questions. We love our Twitter questions. We love them however we can get them. Please send those our way. We usually have the chat up, and we'll take a look at the chat here and there and see kind of what's going on and what's popping off there. DL, if people want to
Yes.
call us and leave us voicemails,
Sure.
because we've been dying for voicemails. I don't think we've gotten any. I mean, we've gotten some drunk ones from people, but they haven't really said anything fantasy related, so we haven't brought them to the show. But if they want to leave us voicemails, Deal, where can they send those awesome voicemails?
Okay, you can call JC at 708-655-4508. Just be
Why do
sure
you?
to say that it's for the fake football guys.
But, but why do you gotta sell me out and say it's like me directly? Just tell them it's
Because
our
you know
line,
you
bro.
like it. You know you
No,
like
I
it.
I
Don't even
don't.
you know, I don't know. Anyways, I'm looking at our
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah. Anyways, leave us voicemails. We we love people's voices. Ask us anything. If you don't even know anything about fantasy football and you want a little, tutorial on it, we'll answer it. Just leave us a voicemail, please.
Yeah,
Please.
that'd be actually a little awesome. My uncles last week text us, so that's a plus, right?
That's great. We'll
So
take that. Yeah.
yeah, we'll
And
take your text too. You just pop it in. Um,
text.
yeah, and
Whoa.
we'll
Text. Whoa. Whoa. Pop.
well,
Uh,
see, why you gotta go there? We're
ah,
trying
you
to
went
make this
there. You went
fam.
there. Anyway.
Every time I upload this to YouTube,
Hey,
I always have to question myself: is this kid friendly? Because some of the
because
stuff we
I
say
did
is
see
very
you did that.
suggestive. You
No, say it's
know,
not kid
you
friendly.
know what? Okay, yeah, but we're gonna get calls from parents. How dare you? And it's on you, dude. I hope you do. It's on you. Anyways, moving on.
Anyways, as always, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and
Smash.
that notification button. That way you know when we go live. We are available on
Mm.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and anywhere that you get your podcast.
Soon to be IG. They're rolling it out, so we'll be able to go live on IG as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, same. As am I. We're on Twitch too, live right now. So shout out to the Twitchers watching us from Twitchland. DL.
Hold on. We
Yeah.
just got a message from Will who said, like the setup, Dustin. ... JC has to step it up. Thanks, Will. Thank you, sir. I
They don't like
agree too.
they don't like my walls back here.
I don't know, man. Like one time
I
you were like in your grandma's living room. Other time you got like the moving stuff in the background. You got
bro,
like you and your brother's pictures up, like, we're little niños. And then all of a
Oh,
sudden,
damn! Impressive.
thank you,
Impressive.
dude.
How do you
Hey,
know that?
I am white, but not that white. Anyways,
All right, just I'm impressed. Look at that. You hang
thank
around
you.
me enough, you learn Spanish.
Hey,
It's great.
man, that's right. Little Ninos.
Exactly. Well, as always, DL, and shout out to Will for watching. I'm pretty sure he watches every single episode. As always, we have another jam-packed show for you guys today, and we have a special guest.
We
We'll get into
do.
that. Yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment. DL, week 4 was crazy. Week 5, I'm so excited. How did you do?
I did actually really, really well. In fact, let's see. Um, before I go over like my studs and duds, I just want to review some of my studs from last week. So one of my studs was Justin Fields versus the Broncos, Chris
Ooh,
Olave versus Tampa Bay, DeAndre Swift versus Adam Thielen, and with his revenge game. I also really quickly, JC, I want to revisit what you said about when my uncle, who's tuning in right now, Uncle Tomas, who asked you who if he should start any Bears people. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick, just because hey man, um,
wow, this is what you were talking about.
I don't know what do you mean? What do you mean? Anywho, let me go ahead. Let me just start this real quick. Okay.
You son of a bitch. This is going great.
Oh, wrong one. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Technical difficulty. Here it is.
Any day now. Nothing's playing, just so you know. DL, nothing's playing. Well, that didn't work. So we will continue on. DL.
Are you serious?
Swear to God, nothing played. But it was a nice attempt at trying to get me.
All
So,
right. You know what? That's BS because it's saying that it's sharing,
well, I don't
but
see
if
anything.
it's well, are you looking at live screen?
Yeah.
What the heck? You know what?
DL,
Okay,
let's
what?
get into your studs and duds. And
All
here's the
right, all
live
right,
screen.
all right.
So,
So, anyways, basically, what I was trying to do, funny homies, which I will work on it a little bit harder. I am learning as I go, but I was trying to prove when JC literally trashed every Bears player from last week to start, every single one of them. So, I just want to revisit it. My studs for this week was Justin Fields, which JC hilariously laughed at, and he said, "Why would you start him? He's trash." Blah blah blah. He actually went for 355 yards,
I didn't
4
say
touch.
that, but,
Okay, hold on. Sorry, phony homies. He went for 355 yards, 4 passing touchdowns. Did get an interception, which kind of sucked. Um, but 4 rushing attempts for 25 yards. He had a phenomenal day. He did fumble, which totally sucks. Hate that. Anyways, my next stud, what did you know, is a Bears player? It was DJ Moore for 8 receptions, 131 yards, a touchdown, and 9 targets. Obviously, my other stud would be Christian McCaffrey. He was like obviously the number one running back this past week. 20 yards rushing, 105 yard or 20 yards attempts or 20 attempts. Sorry, 105 yards rushing, 3 TDs. He caught 7 receptions for 71 yards and a TD in the air and 8 targets. Christian McCaffrey had a day. And last but not least, I call him Mandrews, which is really Andrews. 5 receptions, 80 yards for 2 receptions, a touchdown, and 5 targets. Duds, T. Higgins, Treek Hill, 14 yards rushing, 3 receptions for 58 yards over 5 targets. Rough day. Along with Chris Olave with 4 receptions, 4 receiving yards, I should say, 5 targets. Brees Hall, which wasn't too surprising, still started him. And Kirk Cousins, he's obviously one of the top 10 like QBs for fantasy. However, dude only got 139 yards throwing, 2 passing TDs, 2 interceptions, and he did try to rush it. But that was my studs and duds. But I just want to iterate that if you had the brass panties on, the brass underwear, the balls of steel, and you started those Chicago Bears, you were not disappointed. I'm going to bring back JC because he obviously is going to backpedal and say that, oh, I didn't mean it, even though he didn't watch the game because he's watching the Cubs get knocked out of the playoffs. Go ahead, JC.
You done?
Yeah, your studs and duds. Go ahead.
Yeah. I did say I wouldn't start any Bears because I had no confidence in them, but they did play well. Shout out to the Bears. They lost.
So is
let's
this
continue on?
No, time out. Is this one of those I was wrong? Were
Yeah,
you wrong?
Sure. You know what?
You gotta say it.
You know what makes a great man? You know what makes a great man greater? When they can admit when they're wrong. And I was wrong.
Okay, good.
That's not difficult. Not difficult to do at all.
I'm really pissed. My video didn't work, but anyway.
Whatever. It was a waste. But anyway, my studs, very short, very sweet. I had Nico Collins in so many leagues. I was a big believer, and he is coming through yet again. He finished this past week with 7 receptions, 168 yards in the air, and 2 touchdowns for a total of 36 yards or 36 points in a lot of my fantasy leagues. Another guy that I have in a bunch of leagues, he kind of just fell to me. I didn't go seeking him out, but DJ Moore. DJ Moore had 8 receptions, 131 yards, and 1 touchdown for 28 fantasy points. It was his best game as a Bear. And lastly, I started Anthony Richardson in a bunch of leagues as well. Loved the matchup, and he finished with 29 fantasy points. I'm a big Anthony Richardson fan, and I think he's a solid starter moving forward. Now, DL, let's jump back in to a new segment. Is that?
Well, hold on. I mean, yeah, we do have a new segment. You didn't have any duds? You didn't?
Yeah, I had some duds. Chris Olave was a dud for me this past week.
He was rough, dude.
Yeah,
real rough.
I don't. Yeah, it just didn't work out for him, and I'm not concerned at all whatsoever.
I think you're gonna have that.
Really fine. Yeah, it just happens from time to time, and I think we'll talk a little bit about him this upcoming week. Another dud that I had is he's just becoming kind of a dud guy. Was a guy that I've invested heavily on in a bunch of leagues, and that's Jahmyr Gibbs. He didn't really do much. He had about 7 fantasy points, and I'm hoping for a big game coming soon, and it didn't happen. Another guy that we've talked about, and you were completely off this bandwagon, and I'm still holding on by a thread, who's been a dud for me since last year.
Don't say Kyle Pitts.
Don't say Pitts.
Dude, you need to throw him to the waivers, bro. Like, just let it go, bro.
I'll never throw him on the waivers because if he has one big game, he's got value, and I could trade him to somebody. But this coming week, I don't know. I could trade Kyle Pitts to some team. I could package him. But anyway, this week I'm moving away from Kyle Pitts. I will not be starting him, and it's unfortunate because he has a juicy matchup this week. He plays against Houston. And they're the 16th ranked defense. I do like Houston, and what's going on there with CJ Stroud is very, very impressive.
Yeah, we'll get that to the news.
Yeah, another dud that I had this week was Miles Sanders. He's suffering through a groin injury, which we'll get to a little bit later, but he was a dud for me as well. So just a few guys to name a few.
Well, another dud was you losing this week in our league, and in fact, I would share my screen. I don't want to go through that because obviously it's not working. Technology is not being my friend, but I'm beating you. I'm beating you in one of our leagues, and it's great. I'm one position higher than you. You can check your phone if you want, but who cares about that? Let's bring on the winner as we get into the winner's circle this week. Once again, we went with my league of. It kind of sucks because we're supposed to be the gurus of we're gonna help you win your fantasy. And now 2 weeks in a row, one of us got beat. But nonetheless, I wanted to bring on the person that beat you. My team is terrible, aka Jake. So can we give a warm welcome to Jake Hofer?
Woo! Yeah. Welcome,
guys?
Jake. Welcome.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thank you for joining us, Jake. First off, how does it feel to be able to dethrone a former champion of this league?
Pretty good. I mean, I did have this belt for the league a while ago.
It's right there.
Yeah, it looks familiar. It was.
Why does everybody get it but me? What the fuck?
Hey, because your attitude.
No,
You
this
have a
is not a child
badass
show.
too.
Officially now, it's not a child show. So what the fuck? I haven't gotten that stupid belt. But anyway, it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about Jake. Jake, how many years have you been in the league? You know, how did you beat me? What happened? Let us know a little bit about everything.
Yeah, I think maybe 4 years I've been
Okay.
in the league. I'd have to go back and look, but yeah. So been part of the league. This is the only league I'm in. I keep it really simple.
Mm.
I'm a busy dude, and I think sometimes that might be an advantage because you're just heavily invested in one league, and so that's kind of my approach here. So I think instead of doing research for 4 teams, I'm just doing research for one team, just improving my one squad. I have been hit by the injury bug a decent amount, so just making the most of it. And I think I have a curse. My first round pick the last couple of years, they're hurt almost every single time. So I
Oh,
picked
dang.
Austin Eckler first time. He's out right now, and so just riding the waiver wire. That's all you can do.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I definitely did get beat. Don't know if you guys can see this pretty clearly, but he put up a big score. I lost by about 20 points. Carrying him along the way was Josh Allen. Not much I can do when he drops a 45 burger on me. It's not that nothing I could do there. But he's got a pretty solid team, and be interested to see how Jake does the rest of the season. Now, Jake, you did say that you're a pretty busy
Whoa,
guy.
hold on. Let
Yeah.
me just say something real quick. Let's just hold on. Let's just say something real quick. I did want to kind of comment on this. Is Miami coming back down to earth? Because if we saw this matchup, this was one of those matchups where I would say Tua looked kind of meh, and also Tariq, Waddle also kind of looked mid. So are they coming back down to earth, or was this just like one of those weeks where you can't win them all?
Jake?
I mean, I don't follow sports as much as you guys, but I do follow the Big Cat power rankings, and
Nice.
the Bills are considered a juggernaut. So I think that probably has a big part to do with it. I was really glad they had a kind of a crappy week or a midweek because I looked at that based off the week previously, thinking, "Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to win this
70
week."
to 20?
Yeah, this might be an L for me this week. So I don't know. I think they're really good. I think they're talented, but the Broncos also really suck. The Bears really suck. No offense, Dustin. And when do they play? When do the Dolphins and the Bears play?
Okay, well, first of all, the Bears suck towards the end, but coming out of the gate, man,
Fair.
Justin Fields, I mean, they went up by 2 touchdowns. This is the first time in a long time that a Bears quarterback, Justin Fields, that is, has gotten over 300 yards in one single game, right? So they did break a little bit of records, but yeah, I'm taking the Nuggets
Yeah.
just so I can
Let's-
literally
we can
watch
drop
them on
that.
Thursday night. All
Yeah.
right,
Very
so
positive
Yeah.
guy. I like that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Let the loser interview the winner. Go ahead, JC.
Yeah, so real quick, I do want to throw in. Dustin asked, what's up with Miami? I will say, I think Buffalo is just a complete team. That's no slight on Miami. I just think that Buffalo's just a better team, and a good defense went up against a good offense. And like they always say, defense wins championships. I think that defense kind of just stymied that offense. But it's not why you're here, Jake. Let's get to know a little bit about you. You did say you're a busy guy. What do you do? Let us know a little bit about you.
Yeah. So I co-own a company called Exodus Outdoor Gear. We manufacture arrows and cameras, and then also I'm a licensed real estate agent here in Illinois.
Oh, nice.
Sell land and sell some houses as well, and run 2 podcasts and a couple of YouTube channels. And so
Hey.
big into the media space, and I respect what you guys do. I appreciate what you guys do,
Thank you.
and it's entertaining to tune in every week.
Thank you. We appreciate that very much. But let's not bury the lead here. 2 podcasts, few YouTube channels. Let us know a little bit about that. Where can
Yes.
people follow you? Where can people catch you?
My Instagram's is at Jake Hofer, and then you can find everything for Exodus. Just type in Exodus Outdoor Gear online on YouTube. You'll find that. If you type in the Exodus podcast, you'll find it on iTunes and Spotify and everywhere else. And then the Land Podcast, which might be boring for some of the listeners here, but basically it is to help first-time land buyers. So
Ooh.
it is kind of it's something that most people don't consider. So we have experts on there. We have people go on there and also share their first time land buying experience and story. And sometimes it's past clients of mine. Sometimes it's random people across the country. So that's been very fun. And I think cumulatively, I've recorded over 400 some podcasts over the last handful of years.
Wow.
So it's been a lot of fun and learned a lot.
That's awesome. That's awesome. He's being really humble, folks. He's got one of the top podcasts in the nation, probably in the world, to be honest with you. It's pretty awesome, pretty wild. But we love having you on, Jake. Anything you want to give? Anything you want to advice you want to give out to anybody who plays fantasy or this coming week? Anything regarding that?
I'm a big deep search, so I use a lot of different search terms beyond just the typical Google stuff, and try to get really linear with what I'm looking at. Honestly, anymore TikTok, you could have some really good hot takes on there and some really crappy ones. And so if you can find someone that's pays a lot of attention to this, so I think always relying on people that pay more attention than you it's a great strategy to get a slight edge. And then sometimes you just got to follow your gut. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I love that. I do love that. I'm sure Dustin does have some questions too. Dustin, anything you want to throw at Jake's way?
Yeah, no, I really enjoy this segment a lot because it's not just like, yeah, we're talking about fantasy football and JC got his ass kicked. And I always enjoy that. But we also learn a little bit more about the people that we're playing with in the league. And I think that's always great. And I love to support that. My biggest question would honestly be to you, Jake, is who is your waiver wire pickup for this week?
I got a couple here, and I don't know where you guys are at in your position. I need to see where I'm at.
No, that's all right, man.
Throw some names. We love it.
I'm at 5. Let's see, 7. Okay, I can tell you guys then. I have Dubs, Packers.
Dubs.
Yeah, he's on there. Williams, who's coming off suspension for the Lions, I have him as well. And then I have the rookie running back from Denver. So I had Williams on my roster, and he got hurt, and so it looked like he had a pretty good job. So that's my waiver wire. I got 3 of those folks. I don't know if I'm going to get any of them, but that's my plan, and I'm going to guess they might be on your short list too.
Hey, man, I mean, it's worth a shot, and that's the sacrifice you have to give up when you come onto our show is tell us your waiver wire pick so I can adjust my priority lines.
Yeah, well, you're 10, and so now
see, look at him, he knows.
You're 10 and JC's 7, so
yeah,
I should peel one of those off.
So you should be good.
All right, I'll ask you guys this: out of those three, which one do you think should be number 1 priority? 100%.
You said
Dustin?
Dubes. I'm sorry, Dubes.
Williams, the suspended Lions wide receiver, and then the rookie running back for the Broncos.
I would say Dubes for sure. I think even with Christian Watson coming onto the scene, his big spectacular return to the game, you still saw Dubs get a lot of target share. I think he's going to continue to do well. He's getting a lot of red zone targets as well too. So I would make him number 1. I think Williams is a sneaky stash. So if you do get him, I wouldn't start him this week, but I would just kind of monitor it. I kind of want to see how the Lions actually utilize him. I mean, obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown is their number 1 and so on and so forth. I do think he's going to get his day in the sun. But especially with the bye weeks, this is our first week of the bye weeks, I would really focus on Dubs.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I could jump in, I got a name that you didn't say that we'll get to a little bit later, but I will tease you guys. He plays for the Panthers at the same position as Romeo Dubs. I will say I do like Dubs a lot. Not to, blow my load too early here, but Dubs has been pretty consistent on that team. I will say I think Christian Watson has a higher ceiling, but Dubs has the better floor. And I think he will be more consistent just because he's built that chemistry with Love to this point. But I'm going to echo some of the same sentiments that Dustin had. DL said that he would probably stash the Lions player, and I would too, absolutely. In addition to that, I do want to ask a question before Jake hops off because I know he's got a super busy schedule. How did you guys meet? How did you get in the league? What's the story there?
Dustin, take it away.
Okay, so no, this is good. This is good to get some insight. So at one point, my dad was married to Jake's aunt, right? At one point, unfortunately, that didn't work out. However, Jake, I would say my dad and his dad have always been good pals. I've known Jake since he was knee high to a grasshopper. This is the dude when I was 17 years old. He'd come running up and he'd hit you right in the balls and laugh and then run away. Jake has always been awesome. But yeah, I mean, I was trying to build a fantasy league and need some players, and Jake hopped on, and he's done very, very well. And every time we go head to head, it's always like one of us blows each other out. Unfortunately, you got blown out this week, JC, but that's
It
how
was my
Jake
turn.
rolls. He's
Yeah.
that good. But yeah, that's how he entered the league. It's been awesome because he was the one who honestly helped us with, rebranding our
Yes.
broadcast
Thank you.
with this. So thanks, Jake. I mean, I appreciate it. And man, yeah, we'll see if you win the belt, but good
We'll
luck.
see.
Unless they're playing me.
All right, some tough competition. I
Yeah.
would say this league is, and you guys are in a bunch of different leagues. I would put this one as pretty competitive.
Yeah.
It is.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah, so that makes it fun. So I appreciate what you guys do.
So yeah, you're the second one. Red was on our episode last week, and he said the same thing. He said for a PPR league, this is very competitive. We only have 10 people, which is kind of nuts because you think all of our teams would be loaded, but it's getting people are learning off each other and really putting it out there. So, but yeah, Jake's been in it, I think, since 2015, 2016. So you've been ride or die.
Yeah.
You've been ride or die, Jake. So I can trust you, man.
I'll be here.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Well, Jake, thank you so much for joining us today. Real quick, where can people follow you again?
Just at Jake Hofer on Instagram. I don't post much, so I'm a boring follow. But if you're inclined to do so, feel free.
Gotcha. And the show names one more time? Yeah, the show names one more time?
Yeah, your podcast.
The Exodus podcast, if you want to learn how to hunt big whitetails. And then the Land podcast, if you want to learn about the value of buying land, whether it's recreational, agriculture, or you want to buy a house with some acreage. There's going to be an expert on there that's going to help you throughout that process.
Awesome.
That's huge. That's actually pretty cool, man.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's
well, thanks
awesome.
again, Jake, for joining us. We appreciate you, and bad luck next week, hopefully. How about that?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play one of you guys again. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, you might be back on the show. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? The way we're trending, you will. But thanks again, Jake. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you. See you guys.
Yep.
All right. Peace out.
All right, DL. The show rolls on. And let's go to the news.
Didn't get the cool little cut, but I'm working on it. All right, so there's a lot of news that have been going on. Basically, a lot of information coming off players coming off the pub list. So the first one I want to talk about is Kyler Murray. Murray. I said Murray, but it's Murray. He is off the pub list. However, he's not going to be active. So I don't know, man. If you have him, let's say you did draft him or you picked him up real quick, are you stashing him on your bench? Are you hoping that he's going to come back and be that guy?
Sure. If I have an open IR spot, which most leagues do, yeah, I'll stash him. Can I give you I think we're thinking on the micro perspective because that's what we do. We do fantasy week to week. Can I give you a macro?
Okay.
I don't think he plays for the Cardinals next year.
Yeah, honestly, I think the experiment it has not worked. He just isn't. I mean, pretty similar to the Bears are pretty okay, whatever. Next one, we'll get somebody else to ruin. But yeah, I agree. He just isn't, and maybe that's why they're slow to activate him because
I think it's him too. Yeah, it's him.
Oh
too.
yeah, he's kind of a little bit of a prima donna, but I also think they're slow to activate him because when crunch time happens, because usually he balls out for the whole season.
Oh, he's a good quarterback. He's a good make no mistake, the kid can play, but he butts heads with his coaches.
Yeah, and
because yeah, exactly. And they're 1-3.
Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. They're 1-3. I could see this team tank. There's a few good quarterbacks in this draft.
There's a lot of talk about that.
Yeah, I could definitely see the Cardinals be one of the teams that pursues, one of these big names. So who knows? The way it's trending, the Bears are going to have the first and second pick. So
that would be amazing. That hasn't happened since 1992 with the Indiana Colts.
You want that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want them to give up on. Okay, I'll be our Bears podcast. I don't want them to give up on Justin Fields. I really don't. The dude balled out. It wasn't his fault. Well, it was, but it wasn't. Anyways, next on the flip side, Jonathan Taylor is coming off the pub list as well, and will be starting practice tomorrow, Wednesday. But the real question, JC, to you is: do you think he'll suit up as a Colt? Do you ever think he's gonna
Yes.
play again on the Colts.
Yes, absolutely, I do. I think he will
Okay.
get some touches this week.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
expect him to get the full workload, but I expect him to get 10 to 12 touches this week, and they ease him in, and then by next week, I expect him to get 20. So this week, let's see what happens. If he's hot and ready to go and lathered up, I think they might give him, those 12, 13 touches, depending on how effective he is. But you definitely don't want to rush a guy back in, especially after that ankle injury that he had.
Mm-mm.
But I will say, I have a bunch of Jonathan Taylor everywhere.
Me
Big
too, bro.
fan. Yeah, big
I
fan. I've been
like it.
waiting. I've been waiting. Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment. Like, I'm excited. Happy Jonathan
Yeah.
Taylor week. Happy Jonathan Taylor week.
Yeah, honestly. All right. Cheers to that. Okay.
Yeah, cheers to that. Cheers to that. Hey, what are you drinking over there?
I'm drinking Bodum, and it's by
Oh,
Half
nice.
Acre.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I like that. I
It's a good
got
one.
beer for lounging, and that's
Oh,
what is
nice.
it?
Okay.
Capybara. The little mouse. The mouse is there. There's
I
their
like
signature.
I
Yeah,
like
their
the
signature.
little. That's
Before
nice.
we continue with the news, we did get some awesome comments. You already read
Oh, okay.
Will's. Oh, Bianca, my girlfriend, responded. She said,
Oh.
Jay's definitely one who could admit when he's wrong. He does it all the time with me because I am always wrong. In front of her,
Oh.
I am. She's always right. So,
Oh.
I got the yes
That's
here. You're always right.
nice.
Ready to go. So I got that down pat.
Special lady there.
Mark B says ankle surgery. So I'm guessing he's referring to Jonathan Taylor. But anyway, DL, let's go ahead and continue.
Yeah. Another one coming off the Publis is Cooper Kupp. So those of you who have drafted Cooper Kupp, you've been waiting. He's actually going to be practicing this week, which, what's funny? I saw this like meme on Twitter. It was like the Step Brothers, like me,
Oh yeah,
like call me Nighthawk and all this. It was like him and Nakua. Am I saying that?
Puka, yeah.
Puka. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dang. That's right. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting how that dynamic shifts. I think if anything, like they're just gonna complement each other, and maybe Matt Stafford, like all of a sudden, becomes the QB of the guy you need to grab. Speaking of QBs, Justin Herbert fractured his finger on his non-throwing hand. Woo!
Did you hear how bad the injury was?
No, I did. Well, hold
Let me
on.
tell you.
Non-throwing hand. He's on a bye week, so that's good.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay, so here's what happened. I won't tell you how long he's out, but some of the gruesomeness of this injury, his full nail on his non-throwing hand ripped off, and there was blood everywhere. It just would not stop bleeding.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is
full nail
nasty.
ripped off completely clean.
Damn.
So yeah, football players, man, they go through it. They're pretty damn tough. I
Yeah,
think
they
hockey
always
players,
have.
yeah, always a finger like over here,
It's
like
always
here's my
Hi,
finger,
nice
like
to
this, and then
meet
there's
you.
like a finger over here somewhere. Yeah. But I think hockey players are the toughest, but football players are right there. They're right.
Oh
there.
yeah, definitely, and yeah, for sure. Last but not least, just wanted to bring this up. T. Higgins, man, he's gonna miss some time with his rib injury.
Oh,
But he stated not for long. Now you went through a rib injury.
I did.
And I've actually
Not-
got I've bruised my ribs. I haven't
Okay.
like broken anything, but damn, I can't imagine trying to play football with like a bruised rib, even with a flak jacket. Like,
Yeah, nah.
How?
Yeah, I
That's a
couldn't do
huge
it,
pivot.
bro. I'm such a sissy that I was having trouble getting out of a car. Getting like rolling out of bed. I was like, oh, this sucks. And then in the moment, it hit me. Oh man, when they wear those flak jackets, it's now I know like this is the kind of pain they're going through. It was the first time I ever felt like that. Having bruised ribs. I always thought bruised rib.
Yeah, you wiener.
Yeah,
How bad
exactly,
can it be? I have a bruise on my leg. It's not that bad.
Exactly.
But yeah,
exactly.
honestly, I'm concerned about Cincinnati, dude. Like, I mean, you got a hobbled quarterback, right? He can't move, dude. He can't.
Nothing.
And their defense is trash. I'm sorry. They made Ryan Tannehill look like he was really good, and he's not that good. And you got I'm sorry. Wow. You got T. Higgins who's injured, and then you have Chase who's like literally like saying like I can get the ball if you just throw it to me. So it's getting a little dicey there, man. It is so weird because like you went from a playoff team to a Super Bowl team to now like I don't know they're gonna really do anything. Like, are you panicked? Are you about to give up your Cincinnati players?
Well, no, I'm not
on?
ready to. I'm not ready to panic about that. But we should have known from the jump, to be honest. Burrow wasn't right. That knee injury. He rushed to get back. If they would have waited another month, another 4 weeks, they probably would have gone 0-4. But they'd have a healthy Burrow for the rest of the season. Something crazy. But
For sure.
I don't know. It's unfortunate. That's the nature of the game, man. It's the nature of the beast. This is kind of what happens in football, And it shows you. It really shows you, especially as a Bears fan, how important a quarterback is to an organization, to a
Hmm.
team's success, to fantasy players' success. And not having Burrow really, really, hurts the team. So, yeah,
And I mean, NFL, not for long. Am I
that's true.
right? Am I
You're
right?
right.
Okay. So that kind of wraps up our news.
Yeah.
So
And
now,
now, DL, it is time for injuries. Now, I don't know if the doc is in the house yet, but the last I heard, we did receive a text from the doc, pretty long one. And he was kind of looks like the kind of text that your girl sends you when she's mad at you. But it was a very long text indicating that, oh, hey, there he is. The doc is in the house. Doc, I was
hello,
just
John
telling
Carlo.
yes, hey, hello, using my government as always. I was just telling the fans that you sent us a very long text about all the injuries that were occurring this week, and it looked like a text that an angry girlfriend, wife, fiance would send. So,
Well, yes, I was very upset. I also did not like the comments you made last time I was on the show about my hair.
oh,
Okay.
I said it was great hair.
You okay? We're gonna move on, but
They're
um,
plugs. But anyway, we go to the injuries, Doc. There was a
yes,
big, big injury from a fantasy perspective to a guy who hasn't been performing all year in Washington. Can you let us know a little bit about what happened to Jahan Dotson this past week?
yes, he's dealing with an ankle injury. He is limited in practice as of today. I think it's going to be a hard turnaround, something to monitor. I'm not sure how many catches, receptions he's going to receive, but I do believe he will play. He will play unless I hear otherwise.
Okay, okay. I know you're really tuned in to Washington. There was another
I
injury
am.
to another receiver there, Curtis Samuel.
Yes,
Yeah, what's
Curtis
going on?
Samuel, who has been nothing but anything. I don't think anyone really talks about him anymore. But anyways, he's dealing with a quadricep. He was limited in practice on Tuesday as well too. So looks like Washington has a banged up receiving core,
Hmm.
and I don't know about Thursday night because the Bears have a banged up second.
Organization.
Yeah, well, last place if you ask me. But they have no cornerbacks, they have no safeties. So, it's kind of yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to
it's
be rough.
dire. Yeah,
It's
it
going
is.
to be rough.
It is. It is. We jump over to Cleveland on the defensive
Yes.
side. What
Yes.
happened there? One of their premier players on the
Ooh.
defensive line. What's going on with Miles Garrett?
Hung out my eyes, Garrett, in Boston
Yeah, what'd you guys do?
after. Oh man, we went. Okay, so there's this museum for the Boston Tea Party where you can actually go on a ship and it walks you through everything. You can throw tea off the side. You literally
Really?
can throw tea. Yeah, Miles Garrett like almost broke the
Did he,
rope.
did he grab you and almost throw you over?
He thought about it, but I was like, "Hey, I'll see you." Anyway, so Miles Garrett was wearing a walking boot after the
Mm,
game versus the Ravens. He said it's a foot injury. Duh.
yeah.
I mean, you're wearing a boot. Duh. But he'll be ready to play the I'm sorry, he'll be ready to play after the Browns' upcoming bye. So he's on
Ah,
bye. He's gonna
gotcha.
rest it. Maybe I told him to elevate it. Take some Quaaludes. I mean, just relax.
Quaaludes.
Just relax. And that's all. Anyways,
So,
moving
Doc,
on.
yeah, there is. It's a bye week. What do you do during the bye weeks? Some of the cities that are off. Do you go visit
What
those
do
players
I
as well?
do, or what do
Yeah.
the players do?
What do you do?
Let's see. Usually I like to catch up on my macrame. Okay,
I
my
don't know what that
macrame,
means.
a
What is
little
that?
crocheting.
Ah,
Things that like de-stress me.
ah.
I like to rip big bong.
Okay.
I like
Anyway,
to.
so the teams that are on bye
Oh,
during
on
this
by.
week, week
Yes,
5, are the
yes, yes.
Browns, the Chargers, the Seahawks, and
Mm-hmm.
the Buccaneers. So that may affect a lot of fantasy teams out there. In addition to
Yes.
that, there still
Don't
are more
start those
injuries.
guys.
Yeah.
Don't start any of those guys on bye. You just gotta get 0 points.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
No
what
Keenan Allens, no,
that's what Dustin tells me. Dustin
yeah,
Lingaman. That's what he
no
tells me.
no Jerome Fords. There's a ton of guys that are out. Sucks, but it is what it is. DL, what else is going on? I'm sorry, Doc. I called you DL. My bad, dude. My bad. It's the beer talking. What else happened? I think there was an injury during that Bears Broncos game.
Yeah, you should probably look into that. AA is something that you could look into. It's 12-step program. I
Mm.
know it's helped a lot of people besides me. So Javante Williams was ruled out against the Bears. It's definitely something to monitor because he may miss a week. He had like a little bit of a hip flexor, if you will. So my prognosis, it could go either way. You can miss a week or you can miss 2 weeks. But definitely it was something that I would have a backup for this. And I'm sure you're gonna go over your waivers.
Look, you're definitely a fan of this show. We appreciate that. We jump over to LA, the land of Hollywood. What's going on with Matt Stafford?
Holy cow, there's been a lot of injuries with the Rams in general. So first, yes, obviously uh quarterback Matthew Stanford was injured. Uh, I talked to Sean McVay. He said Monday that Stanford's actually suffering from a hip contusion that he suffered during the overtime win with Indianapolis. So overtime, you got to be careful. But the
A big butt,
quarterback is I like big butts. Is expected to play
and I
this
lie.
coming Sunday against the Eagles. So if you got them, fire them up or listen to who you could pivot to with the waivers. Next,
Thanks. Yeah, you got this. Do
I'm
you,
trying to get my bonus this week.
do you need me here, or do you need me here for this one? You want to go single screen? You can
I,
do your thing.
I, well, okay, fine, okay. You see how that is? Okay, we're gonna move on to the LA running back or LA once again LA Rams. We got Kyron Williams. He's dealing with like a bruised hip. Once again, he suffered that during the overtime win, so got to be careful with that. And then last for the Rams, we have tight end Tyler Higbee, who's also dealing with a thumb. He banged his thumb up a little bit during Sunday's overtime. Once again, against the Indiana Colts. I think they're all going to play. I think you can go ahead and fire them up, but I would obviously take a look at the injury report as we're coming out. Pittsburgh's quarterback Kenny Pickett sustained a knee injury in the third quarter and was ruled out against the Texans. Head coach Mike Tomlin said Pickens is scheduled to practice in some capacity Wednesday. So if you got Pickens, definitely something to monitor. These boys are going to be going over those waiver wires, so definitely you may want to have a backup for that. Dealing with a knee when you're a quarterback, probably not the best. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out. They are going against the Ravens, so their D is pretty strong. So I wouldn't be too excited with that. On top of that, tight ends Pat Fairmouth is doubt for this week. So I would definitely pivot towards that as well too. JC is back. He texted
Time out.
me. What?
Time out. You said their D is strong. We talking about me?
Okay. So Pat Fairmouth is definitely that's not appropriate. We're trying to get the kids ratings so these guys can get more subscribers, but JC is screwing that up as usual. But yeah, I would say Pat Fairmouth do not. He's doubtful. I don't think he plays this week against those Saints. Unless or not last but not least, but I know Dustin
Yep.
stated this earlier that Cincinnati's Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins is dealing with a rib injury. He fractured a rib, keeping out for an extended period. Didn't rule out the possibility of playing on Sunday. Listen, folks, we talked about this. If you hurt your ribs, you can't laugh, you can't breathe, you can barely move. Everything hurts. Even with a flat jacket, even if he does play this week, which I would doubt, but if he does, he's going to be a decoy. I would not expect him to do great things. I don't even think he may get a target or two, but I think it's going to go to Tyler Boyd, honestly.
Doc, giving us fantasy advice.
That's
Look
what
at
Dustin
that.
he's trying to show me. I'm learning some stuff.
I think you guys might have the same parents. I don't know. Maybe the same mom at least.
Don't ever say that again. Don't talk
sorry.
about my mother.
Sorry, my bad. But Doc, thank you
No,
so very much.
I'm not. Hey, whoa.
Yep.
Okay. This is my segment. Last but not least, we're gonna go with tight end for the Green Bay Packers, Luke Musgrave. He did get a concussion. However, he was spotted on practice today. So fire him up. I think he's gonna be great.
Don't kick me out, Doc.
I brought you back.
You give a guy one control switch, and look at what he does. He just
Well,
runs
you're
his power
ruining
everywhere.
you're
does
ruining my
whatever he
segment.
wants.
You're ruining my segment.
Whatever, Doc. Where are you going to be this weekend?
Let's see. This weekend, I'm going to Connecticut. I'm really liking the East Coast fall weather.
Yeah,
It's been
same.
very nice. Boston
Love it.
was great. Fuck New York, but I like
Yep.
Connecticut. It's very nice. It's very nice.
My girlfriend will be in New York this weekend for an 11-hour layover. So
Ooh, that
unfortunate,
sucks
but
for her.
yeah, at nighttime. And thanks, Doc. I appreciate you for leaving me and ditching me. But anyway, it is time to go over waivers. That's the reason why you're here. You want to know a little bit about who to add, who to drop, what to do. And we're going to tell you it's time. We are going to start off by going to the running back position. One of the top waivers that I would add if I were you.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Wait a second.
What
Wait a
happened?
second. Bad cue. Hold on 1 second.
You want to fix your mic? Wow, we're fully connected and on. We have all our clips. We love it. We love it. The fake football guys are back. Anyway, DL, I don't know if you're recording from a potato. I'm not sure what's going on your end. It looks like it's a potato. Just get your
Just
face
keep
close
going.
and
Just
pull
keep
back.
going.
All right. Anyway,
Oh.
we will start at the running back. We'll start at the running back position.
Didn't work.
What happened? I don't know what's going on over there. But at the running back position, the first
This
player
happens
we are
every
going
week.
to-
Go ahead.
we're going to recommend is 1% rostered Jaleel McLaughlin. Now, Jaleel McLaughlin showed out against the Bears, and that's not saying much.
Who?
Jaleel McLaughlin
Did you
showed
see it
out.
worked?
Yeah, I don't know what you
Where's
did.
my hat?
Whatever you
Go
did.
ahead. Sorry. I don't
Yeah,
want to turn
he
it
has
off.
the same hair as the Doc. It's interesting.
Listen, it's a
I don't
long
know.
story. Started off in a stripper club.
It's like a-
Anyways, go
Oh
ahead.
wow, that sounds like a bad episode of Law and Order. But Jaleel McLaughlin, like we said, McLaughlin is 1% rostered. He had 104 yards from scrimmage on 10 touches. Think about that. On 10 touches. And one of those included an 18-yard touchdown that
He
caught.
looked strong. He looked
Yeah.
fast.
Quick. Yeah, exactly. He was
Fast
really
and
quick.
hungry.
Yeah, exactly. If Williams is healthy heading into this week's matchup against the Jets, we think that McLaughlin is probably just an intriguing ad. But if Williams is out, McLaughlin's sure to get a bunch of touches and will be fantasy relevant. Now, the next running back we're going to recommend is a guy that we love talking about, Chuba Hubbard, one of DL's boys. Now, Chuba Hubbard is a running back that is only 10% rostered. And the reason why we're recommending him is because Miles Sanders is dealing with a groin injury. Now, this past game, Miles Sanders didn't really get a lot of touches. He wasn't very effective. So Hubbard had 16 touches on Sunday as the result. Now, we still think because Miles Sanders is getting paid and making that money, if he's healthy, then Sanders is the guy. But if he's not, if they give him a week or two to heal up from that groin injury, Chuba Hubbard will have flex appeal. Now, we're not a fan of him, but we again think he's a decent ad with some value. Now, the last guy we're going to recommend at the running back position is a guy that I would stash. Melvin Gordon is a guy who probably lost a step, maybe two, but is still a running back that could help you win some weeks. Now, he's only 1% rostered in fantasy football leagues, but he is a guy that we would recommend. So go ahead and add Melvin Gordon in all your leagues. Now we jump over to another position. It is the wide receiver position. There's my sister walking right by me. It's fantastic. At the wide receiver position, we're going to go over to Adam Thielen, who is only 24% rostered. And we think that Adam Thielen is a fantastic ad this week. And I think he might be a receiver that I'd be interested in. Now, here's my caveat. We got to see how Bryce Young comes back. What's going on over there?
No,
What's
I'm
going on
just
over
listening. I just, had
there? Oh,
to
nice.
pee. Corona. Okay, go ahead. Cheers,
Anyway,
dude.
yeah. Adam Thielen, 24% rostered. DL, let me throw you some stats. For a third straight week, Adam Thielen had 15 plus fantasy points in PPR leagues. He is a
He's
top
old.
10. Well, I don't care. He's a top 10 wide receiver right now. I said wide receiver, not white receiver. But he's both. Both. And we're hoping that Bryce Young might have learned a thing or two watching Andy Dalton. And I can't believe I said that, but I just said it.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about that. They're going up against the Detroit Lions, who absolutely, unequivocally destroyed the Green Bay Packers. Destroyed them. So the real question is, do you think Brees is better than Jordan Love?
I do think Bryce Young is good, but no, he's not better than Jordan
Bryce
Love right now.
Brees, you know what the fuck I meant.
Yeah, whatever. It's important that we say that. For every time you mess up, you should take a sip. That's what you should do. How about that? Exactly. Thank God it's not straight up liquor.
Well,
Another receiver we're gonna recommend is somebody that Jake alluded to earlier. That is Romeo Dubs. Now, he is 24%.
Dubs.
He is 24% rostered. Dubs had 13 targets last week, and he caught the ball 9 times for a total of 95 yards. He's been pretty damn consistent this year, and I think it's probably because Christian Watson's been out. But I fully expect that to continue. I think the chemistry between him and Love is apparent, and I definitely think that he's a guy who can give you 7 to 10 points every week moving forward, and he'll have some big weeks. It definitely will happen. You definitely see Dubs get targeted on some big plays, so definitely a guy that I would be interested in. The last receivers that we're going to recommend are two of them, and we recommended them last week, but we'll do it again this week because they are on a bye. Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson are still out there and available.
Mhm.
Tell you to add them because it's next man up still. Losing Mike Williams is a big loss, and that's going to be a ton of targets.
Yeah.
Probably another 80 targets the rest of the season that are going to go to somebody. And in a pinch, you could definitely add Josh Palmer. You could definitely add Quentin Johnson. I'd rather have Palmer, and they could help you win a week.
I was just about to ask you. Another guy that I would actually bring up that a lot of
Mhm.
people aren't talking about, but I think
Wilson.
honestly has had a couple. Yes, Michael Wilson
Mhm.
for the Arizona. Is that why you left it out? Because you gonna get him?
No. I just knew it was a name that people would be interested in. I just think he's a little ways away still, but I understand. I get it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think he's definitely someone that I would add for and sneaky stash. He Arizona played San Francisco last week, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone had him like dead to rights, just like the Bears, right? The dude put up like 26 points in PPR, that is. So he had, let's see, 7 receptions, 76 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah.
Now, coming out of training camp with Arizona, he was like the guy. Like everyone
Mhm.
was like really excited about him. I don't know what he did. He did something what got him benched for a while, but I think he's a sneaky stash. I think he's somebody that you could
Yeah.
definitely
I like that.
start against Cincinnati's D. Once again, I kind of alluded to it earlier in the episode that they made Ryan Tannehill look legit. So if you're desperate in those deep leagues, or if you play in a competitive league where a lot like Dubes isn't there, or even
Dubs, but I like Doobies. I like that.
I'm not gonna keep calling him Dubes because I
Yeah.
don't like Green Bay. But I mean, someone to like take a look at. So that's my only take on your wide receivers that you listed. Adam Thielen, I'm a little bit cautious with him because once again they are going against Detroit. Detroit secondary isn't like huge, but I mean their line, defensive line. I mean Aiden Hutchinson, dude, he's a beast, and he's
He
gonna
is.
be hunting, and he's gonna destroy that line. So I'd be a little bit cautious. So if I had to re-rank them, I would go Dubes or Dubs, and then I would go with Adam Thielen, and lastly, last ditch effort, I would go
Okay.
with Michael
I like that.
Wilson,
Yeah.
and
Wait,
really
you
deep
go
leagues.
Wilson over Thielen?
I would go Wilson over Palmer.
Okay.
That's the way I would do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting take.
Just
Mine's a little different, but I like it. I like it.
Hey, that's what this is all about, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
like you said that the Bears players were all trash last week and they wouldn't do much. And
You're not
you know,
wrong.
I won my week because I didn't listen to you. So, anyways,
Son of a bitch.
I mean, hey, gotta throw it
Hey,
out there.
let's jump over the tight end position. DL.
Absolutely.
Remind people who are on bye.
Yeah. Once again, we're looking at the Seahawks, the Browns, the Buccaneers, and the Chargers. I've been kind of talking about this guy for a while. I'm going to say Luke Musgrave. He's 35% rostered. Last week was a trash game for him. He got knocked out because of concussion protocol. But I would still roster him. He has 91% of the route participation. He's been targeted 3 times in the red zone within that game, 3 times. So I think he could end up, honestly, by the end of the year, being a top 12 tight end. So if he's still out there, I would definitely grab him. I think Jordan Love and him are definitely going to match up. Obviously, we've said this years before, like rookie QBs love their tight ends. The next 2 guys I want to recommend, these are streamer folks, streamers for the next couple of weeks. I kind of went that route because I figured like you probably have, drafted your tight end and things of that nature. If you've run into that first week bye, these are a couple names that you may want to roster. First one I'm going to go with is Logan Thompson. He's rostered at 6.9%. He's going against the Bears, which, I mean, let's face it, the Bears are literally the Oakland Raiders of 2015. Anyways, the reason why I like him is this week he's going against the Bears. The following week he's going against Atlanta Falcons. So if you kind of have that weird, you got a couple of people on bye, like he might be somebody that you can start for 2 weeks straight. Either start him or stash him. I think he's a good streaming option. The last guy I would say for streaming option only, is Cade Otton. Buccaneers are on a bye this week, so obviously you couldn't play him this week. However, he's 1.9% rostered, obviously a stash candidate. In week 6 and 7, he's going against the Lions and he's going against Atlanta Falcons, who have allowed the 5th and 4th most points per game to that position of tight end. So tight end number ones in those 2 weeks, I think Caden Otton might be a good sneaky stash if you're desperate at that position.
I like that.
Thank you. See? Yeah. I'm getting better at this. Okay, we're going to go over to
Hold
QB.
on. Time out. This another guy I recommend
every time.
who isn't rostered nearly as highly as some of the, or I guess who's rostered a little more, but not at 50%. Like our rule is we try to recommend players who are rostered at least 50% or less. Jake Ferguson.
You're going to say Schultz? Oh, nope. Yeah, Jake Ferguson. You're right.
He has
been I did leave him off.
No worries. That's why we're here. He's been killing it. He's had 7 targets 3 different times, and I think he's a tight end that has great chemistry. I don't know why I'm really on this chemistry bit, but great chemistry with Dak Prescott. This past week he had 10 fantasy points, and if you can get 7, 8, 9, 10 fantasy points off the waiver wire, you take that from the tight end position. Jake Ferguson is a huge tight end that I would love to add. And I'm going to try. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but
so out of my guys, you would go Jake Ferguson, then Luke, or
yeah, I'll go Jake
Ferguson,
then
number
Luke.
1.
Yeah, and then the other 2 guys in really deep leagues, I go Logan. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think Jake Ferguson is a huge grab if he's still available for sure.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Excuse me.
Somebody's getting sick over there, huh?
Dude, it's like all of us. My whole family has a cough. My wife has a really bad cough. My 2 little girls have like me, like it's like, and yeah. Anyways, see, don't talk about it because then I start thinking about it. Anyways, we're gonna move on to QB. I'm really excited about this next QB. Sure. Once again, a reminder: Seahawks, Browns, Bucks, and Chargers are on bye. CJ Stroud, bro. Yeah, I'm really excited about him. He's like literally like. I feel like he's definitely going to be – he's QB 13, right? He's a rookie. He's a rook, bro. Dude has had 2 consecutive games throwing for more or over 300 yards, bro. Nico Collins has been the guy. I'm really excited for him. And after, like, this is a guy that, like, you may have to stream in case you're, like, in that kind of boat, or you just kind of stash him because after their bye, dude, it's like they have the easiest schedule that I've ever seen. So, um, I think he's really great for streaming. And if you're in a deeper league, he might be your QB1. You may want to start him after the bye week or Houston's bye week.
Yeah, I'm a big CJ Stroud
That's
supporter.
it. You're just
No,
like,
I
yeah.
love hearing. No,
Okay.
no, no. I love hearing a Ohio State quarterback do well because everyone shits on Ohio State quarterbacks. Let's be real. They always say there's
I
no good
mean, what do
quarterbacks
you
that come
mean?
out of there. I know, and people continue to do it.
Yep.
Case in point, Exhibit A. But what I will say about Stroud is I really like what the head coach is doing there. I really like the way that they're allowing him to rip it, and he knows what he's seeing.
Grip it and rip it.
That's it. That's it. Shout out to D'Amico Ryans. He's a guy who, played defense his whole life, in the NFL, and now he has a young quarterback of which to build with. Honestly, I think he's looked far and away like the best rookie quarterback, and he's making a guy like Bryce not so good, especially with the yardage. He threw over 300 yards before Justin Fields ever did it. Think about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. I mean, I'm just trying to look up the numbers. I mean, obviously, last week I did recommend him there. I was a little bit hesitant because they were playing the Steelers. Dude went off, man. 2 passing TDs, 306 yards,
Yeah. Think about
16
that
yards.
guy. Yeah, let me throw this at you because
16.
we're Bears fans.
PPR too, by the way.
Yeah.
PPR, I think he's a solid start. Go ahead.
Bobby Slowick is the offensive coordinator for the Texans. And what he's doing with, I don't know, some cast-offs, what do they got? They have a rookie quarterback. They have a second-year running back who, is just okay, solid, whatever. Damian Pierce,
I
solid.
think he's solid. I think
A
the
mediocre
same with the
offensive
Bears.
line. Hold on.
Same with the
Mediocre
Bears.
offensive line.
Okay.
A third-year receiver, Nico Collins, who, like, coming into the year, nobody was talking up Nico Collins to be a legit wide receiver one, a legit, top-tier receiver, and he's looking like one right now. Shout out to Bobby Slowick, who is the offensive coordinator there. I think he's going to get some interviews and an opportunity to become, an offensive coordinator elsewhere for more money, and not just that, potentially a head coach, and maybe in Chicago. You heard it here first.
I agree with that. Do you know who DC 235 is?
Yeah, that is one of my closest friends. Yeah,
Okay.
I used to work with him at Olive Garden when I waited tables back in the day.
Okay,
That was
he's
my
wondering.
young buck. Yeah.
He just asked in the chat if I was okay over there. I am.
Oh, because you're coughing. He
Okay.
just wants to make sure.
Well,
We should have that doc
appreciate
check you
that.
out. We should have done
I
that.
appreciate that. And he said pause because he knew I was going to the bathroom.
No, I think it's because of what I said. So.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that. Anyways, moving on to other QBs that you may. I mean, honestly, JC, I'm going to be very honest. This was a rough week for waivers.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm.
And to add to that, that's why we throw a lot of money at Jerome Ford. That's why we throw a lot of money at bad budget money at guys who become available and become opportunity guys. Now, Jerome Ford hasn't done shit since we threw money at him, but that doesn't mean he won't do anything, later on. Just think about it. I'd rather have Jerome Ford than anything that we're recommending right now. So,
and if we're talking about fab, I think any of these waivers, honestly, I would say 10%, maybe 15, maybe if you're like just really hurting, which it could be. You never know.
If you're a Javonte Williams guy, you have to add Jaleel. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to add McLaughlin. You have to because there's no other way around it.
Yeah.
Can we also say Jaleel's last name is McLaughlin, like Sarah. So when I dropped his name, I should have said "In the arms of nature." Oh,
you know what hits me?
Beautiful singing voice. Look at you.
Oh, thank you. It's only in small spurts.
The songbird of our generation.
My daughter's telling me to be quiet. Every time they're like, "Stop singing." Anyways, but yeah, just moving on to these other quarterbacks. Obviously, these are dart throws. These are streamers. These are break in case of. I'm going to say Sam Howell. Yeah, I know. 13.5%. He's going against the Bears. Which Thursday night football may have someone's going to like drastically fail. I think we know who. Because they just can't get a break. But he's also going against ATL the
Time out.
next week.
You're
Atlanta.
recommending a Washington Commander quarterback. Let me ask you.
Manders.
It's been our
Manders.
understanding throughout these 3 years that we've been doing this that
Little
Thursday night
shaded.
football games suck. Like players do not play well on Thursday.
They never do, but however, they've been like it's a lot better than Monday Night Football. Like I definitely enjoyed myself watching the Packers and the Lions versus what was it?
Less about
Seahawks
that
and
and
the
more about fantasy.
Giants.
Yeah, think about fantasy wise. Like
Ugh.
these guys live on tight schedules. They are creatures of habit. And when they have to play on a Thursday, coming off of a game on Sunday with only
Yeah.
4 days to get ready,
Not a fan.
honestly, and again, here we are. Are you going to recommend starting Justin Fields this week against the Commanders, who have a pretty solid defense, probably a top 10 to 12 defense?
Oh, that's a really good question. I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, I'm a
Great
homer.
defensive line. Great defensive line.
I'm a homer. I'm gonna say roll him out because he honestly, like he was slinging that ball, dude, and he was connecting with Cole Kmet. By the way, which we didn't mention on tight ends because I just don't. I think he's 56% roster, but if he's out there, might be a good ad streamer. Cole Kmet got like what 3 touchdowns, dude. Was it
Yeah.
3? It was 2.
No, I think it was.
3.
I think it was two.
3.
It was two. I think it
Yeah.
was two.
Well, I know
So
DJ Moore got 1. Yeah, DJ
one.
Moore got 1.
Yeah,
Then Cole Kmet got 2, and then Herbert got 1.
that's right.
So, okay. But I think, like, honestly, I think, and they said something too about Justin Fields. Like, Lawrence Holmes, like, was in the locker room and literally Justin Fields was in full uniform, like pads and all, just sitting in his locker, just
What do I got to do? What
Yeah,
more
exactly.
do I got to do? That was the best
Exactly.
game of his career. Think
He
about it.
threw it
Best
out
game.
there.
Yeah. Through
And let's
3
break
plus.
down that game
Yeah.
a little bit. Let's break
Yeah.
it down. First of all, they went all the way down and were 4th and 1. They should have went for it. They didn't. They kicked it, right? So you had the Boo Birds. Then the Broncos tied up, and I'm fast forwarding because we don't have to go over everything. The Broncos like tied up 28-28, right? They're a chip shot away for just getting the thing to get to winning the game,
Points. Good
right? To
points.
get ahead, not
Yeah.
winning, but getting ahead. There's like 2 minutes, 36 seconds left, something like that. No, they decided to go for it, and oh, surprise, they didn't get it, and they lost. And how did they lose? By a fucking field goal. All right.
Yeah.
So if you want to get down to the debate, is it Justin or is it coaching? It's coaching.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Let's say this. Okay.
I'm at that point.
Yeah, I'm at that point too. I'm also at the point where I'm asking myself though, if we have the number 1 pick in the draft, whether it's by Bears pick or by Carolina's pick, because we have the 1 and 2, I'm at the point where I'm asking myself, would I draft Caleb Williams? Would I draft him? He is the highest touted prospect since Andrew Luck. And hold on, let me tell you this: if I could get a 1st round pick for Justin Fields, I do it.
Atlanta's asking. Atlanta's
I
our
do it.
number 1 person.
And Atlanta loves Justin Fields. They have. That's where he's from. He's from Georgia.
Dude, that sucks because that's another jersey that, like, now I got.
When you think about it jersey wise, I'm thinking about it this way: can Caleb Williams be better than Justin Fields? I think
Not with this coaching regime. No way.
Sure.
You got to get the right coaches. Because
that's
it's
a deeper
the
question.
same.
Yeah.
No, it's the same fucking story that. And I'm sorry. Well, whatever. It's the same fucking story that we've been going through since they fired Lovie Smith. Think about it.
Do you remember radio though? People wanted him out. And look now.
I don't know why.
Be careful
He had
what
a
you wish
winning
for.
record. He had a winning record.
10-6, and they fired him. 10-6.
Yeah, and
I'd kill something for
fucking
10-6.
Dude, I'd take 10-6. I would take that. Even a down year. Okay, and these motherfuckers bring in Trustman and whatever the other cowboy weirdo that they brought in as a GM. Long story short, I'm tired of it. Bring Lovey back. I'll give Poles another shot, but Everflus is not the answer.
I'll give Poles one more. Yeah. I'll give Poles one more because honestly, I think he did the rebuild the right way. Whether he has the right guys or not is a different question. But he got
Wright is looking good. right, and there's been a lot of hubbub about him being like the guy as far as like on the line. I will say this, but like Flus, he's
Fields,
not our guy.
listen, yeah, he's
He's
not.
not our guy.
Fields wasn't Poles' draft pick. That's the
Mm-mm.
only reason why I'm giving Poles
Yep,
one more shot.
I
Because I'm gonna
believe
let
it.
him. I'm gonna let
Yep.
him get his quarterback. You get one, we'll get you quarterback, and that's that. And honestly, Caleb Williams has been the best prospect since Andrew Luck, and I
I'll
think
give you that, man. But like,
he's got a better arm than Fields.
I
The
just
processor
can't
is
give up
there.
on. Like maybe
Me
I
too.
am a
Me too.
homer.
Honestly,
I
I
just
am
feel
too.
bad.
I am
It's
too.
like, okay, if we're gonna get
But
a
you cannot,
quarterback, you better
Dustin.
make sure the coaching's in line. That's all I gotta
Justin,
say.
I agree, but you
Over it.
cannot pass up. If you have the number one pick in the draft, you cannot pass up
Oh
on a
hell no,
prospect like him. You
no.
just can't. You just
Let
can't.
him. I'm down. Let them compete for it. Let's see.
It's
Let's see.
it's. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. To be
Wow,
honest.
it's kind of a rerun,
Wine.
right?
Yeah, rerun. Yeah, yeah.
We're going through the same shit that we've been going through
Our whole
since
lives.
2000 and fucking 5.
Yeah.
2005. Oh, rebuilds are real quick in the NFL. No, the
Yeah,
fuck they're not.
bullshit.
Not
I
if
mean,
you're Chicago
you can do
Bears.
it. You could do it in 1 or 2 years. Well, not one, but like you could go from worst to first. That's possible. I don't know about title like like Super Bowl contender, but I really think you could do a rebuild in 3 years if you do it the right way. You shed salary year
Yep.
one, year two you compile draft picks, and then year three you
Look
draft
at the
everybody and
Eagles.
everything. Yeah.
Look at the Rams. The Rams went all in on their.
Oh yeah, and look how they're struggling now. That team's going to
All
be in
right.
shambles in a few years. But anyway, last
Let's put a
last
ball
thing
on
we want
it.
to recommend. Yeah, we want to recommend some defenses. We're going to recommend the Washington Commanders against the Bears this
Okay.
weekend.
Timeout. I gotta I did this. Gotta reflip the actual list. I'm gonna go with Detroit Lions against Carolina because I
Okay.
want the or number one draft pick or second draft pick. Then I'm gonna go Commanders. Sorry.
So you want in that order? Okay.
Yeah.
From a fantasy perspective, I understand the homerism that comes with what Dustin just did, but I'm going to take the Commanders over the Lions. And Dustin,
You
I'll take
think
a
they're
shot
gonna
live
show
on
up
air.
salad?
Yeah, want to do that? Shot
A
bet.
shot?
Shot bet
Shot
for
bet.
next week. Yeah.
Like we're
If
gonna
I say the Commanders
take a
score
shot?
more points than the Detroit Lions, you say the Lions score more points than the Commanders. Shot
Okay.
bet?
Shot bet. What you gotta take a shot online on this?
Live on air. Yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Cool. All right, you want to throw it in the notes? The next
Why I
defense we
gotta throw it in
recommend,
the
because I'm literally reading off a phone and it doesn't let me edit it.
Okay, gotcha.
The next defense that we recommend is the Green Bay Packers against the Raiders. Who's starting our quarterback for the Raiders this week?
Garoppolo.
Is he? Yeah. All right.
Questionable, but I think he
I
will
don't know.
start.
Yeah. Just making sure. All right, DL. Now I have some studs and I have some duds. Not a lot. I'm not sure where you're at on it, but I'll go ahead and get started. This
Okay.
week's studs that I'm recommending for you based on matchup and nothing else. Again, the Commanders' defense against the Bears. I really think the Commanders put up a double-digit score, and I think the Bears lose again. That is what I think happens. And if they win, it's because Justin Fields had a superhuman effort. Another stud I recommend is Chris Olave against the Patriots. I think coming off a bad week, he goes bananas, and I think that they make it they force the issue and get him the ball. The last stud I recommend is Tua against the Giants. Another guy who's going to rebound from a down week and play kind of crappy, kind of shitty Giants team. So that's
I mean,
kind of where I'm at.
you saw it on Monday night, so I agree with that. I think Tua and the Miami Dolphins, obviously, I mean, they were
Yeah.
just destroying left and right, so someone had to humble them. So I agree
Yep.
with that. One of my studs, I would say this week, I think C.J. Stroud.
Oh wow.
I
I like
think
it. I
he's
like
going to
it.
do really well. I have high hopes in this young man. And like he went up against, I'm a believer. He went up against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense isn't that bad. I mean, TJ Watt and all that. The dude is poised, comfortable, and he's making really great plays. So I'm really excited about him. I mean, other than that, I think David Montgomery's going to have a good game
I like
again.
that against the Panthers. Yeah.
Against the Panthers. I mean, it's kind of
well.
an easy one, but funny story. I didn't start him last week, and went up against Andrew, who weirdly enough declined to come onto our show and talk about his loss
Huh.
against it. It's funny how like
Interesting.
only the winners who beat us want to come on, but the losers are like, I'm busy, I can't do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyways,
Oh,
long story
yeah.
short, I like him. Duds for this week. Anyone on Cincinnati? I think right now they're struggling pretty hard. I would be really kind of, besides like Chase, Burrow, I would be kind of hesitant too, dude. He's just not looking good. And yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Bears, I think you're right. Hey, they showed up, showed out, but I think it was a one and done. I think they boomed
Yeah.
this week against the Commanders. I don't think they're going to have the same outcome. However, I would say Justin Fields is a good start. I think DJ Moore is a good flex.
I like it. I like it. One final stud. I like Joe Mixon against the Cardinals this week. To give you some duds,
Yeah.
one of them, because I'm anti-Bears this week. Not fully
last
anti-Bears,
week.
but I
Like
just
last
don't think
week.
they're good, dude. I just don't think they're good. That's really it. And you don't think they're good either. Let's be real.
I think they have good players. I think they have the wrong people calling the plays.
Well,
It's like, dude, it's like
that's
fucking
fair.
Mark
I don't think
Trestman.
Getsy's bad. I think Getsy's trying to make. He was trying to make Justin Fields Aaron Rodgers, and he's not that.
No, he's not. Mm-mm.
Yeah, you can't
Stop
he's not Aaron
running.
Rodgers.
I'm glad. Did you see a fucking screen last week?
Run him.
Hell
though. Yeah,
no.
I didn't see it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They did run him. They did run him.
Run him
but-
more. Run him more.
I
My
mean,
duds.
Okay.
Bears running backs against the Commanders. I don't think either running back gets 60 yards.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
Herbert,
The Commanders,
do not
I'm
start.
telling you, that D line is sick. I expect that D line to get 4, maybe 5 sacks. By the way, shout out to Khalil Mack. He had, I believe, 6 sacks this past week by
What?
himself.
Hell yeah, Cleo Mack.
Khalil Mack.
Good to you, brother.
We're about to find out. Yeah, hey, cheers to
Hey.
you. 6 this past week.
Good
6.
for you, man. Good.
That's more than the
mean,
Bears. What the hell?
Return of the. Yeah, we have 2 for the year.
Oh, what a I miss
2.
him.
And they barely got Russell Wilson down. It took like 3 dudes to like get him. It's so far. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Anyways, I miss him.
It's not
my
a Bears
dud,
podcast. Sorry.
My next dud is but it's not. My next dud is Calvin Ridley because he's playing against the Bills, and Olave didn't do well, and I don't think Ridley will either this week. DL, who are your duds?
I kind of went over them already, but I'm gonna say, this week, anyone who is playing obviously against, I would say who's on Cincinnati, I don't think they're gonna have a good game. And just trying to take a quick look. I'm really sorry. I didn't really think about the duds. I think a bounce back, I would say, is Garrett Wilson. We're talking about duds. I would say Jerry Jeudy. Anyone on the Denver Broncos, I don't think is going to do well against, obviously, the Jets. I think the Jets are legit. Their defense is strong. I'm really excited.
I know you're not an Alexander Madison guy, and they play the Chiefs this week. Exactly.
I think Christian Kirk. Okay, sorry, not Christian Kirk. Kirk Cousins. Cousins. I think they're gonna bounce back. I would say that. Sorry, guys. I'm hoping Dallas Goedert honestly can stop being a dud. I'm ready to ditch him. I'm honestly thinking that I need a backup for him. I really do.
New segment idea: buy and sell. Guys that we should trade away and guys that we should go and get.
Dallas got
beginning next week. We will tell you who to buy and who to sell.
That's good because it's been 4 weeks. It's been a month. It's time to reevaluate your bench. So we will say that for next week.
Shout out to Lovie Smith because he would break the season into 4 quarters. Now that was when it was 16 weeks that you play.
I do that every year.
Yeah, for the first 4 games is quarter 1, the second is quarter 8, quarter 2, and then quarter 3 and quarter 4.
Quarter 8.
Yeah, sorry, but 8 games.
No worries, I got you.
But yeah, that's we'll do that next week. Buy and sell. I got a bunch of guys to sell for sure.
Me too. Let's put a bow on it for sure.
Yeah. That's it for today's episode, phony homies. Remember to shoot your start sit questions to us. You can send them to us on Twitter by sending them to
Tweet FFG
and using the hashtag that only we have.
Ask us FFG.
And you can also send those email questions to the email, if that's more your speed.
Ask us, ffg@gmail.com.
And please leave us your beautiful voices. We want to play it live on air.
Or text.
Or text, yeah. By sending not text. Damn, I don't want to respond to text. But anyway,
Come
by
on.
sending them to the phone number.
Area code 708-655-4508.
As always, phony homies, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your wonderful questions in the chat. Whether you're on Twitch, whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen to us, thank you for tuning in. As always, for Dustin, my name is JC. We'll catch you again on the next fantastic episode of the Fake Football Guys Show. Peace.
Peace out.